Ladies and gentlemen, the Asian market today has a bloodbath, and we are seeing right now across Taiwan, across Japan, and even Shanghai, stock market are crashing. Now, is this going to spill over to the American stock market? Let's watch on as I give you an analysis why this thing is happening and what could potentially get worse. And let's watch till the end. So Asian stock market is crashing right now, and today we are seeing quite a massive downturn in several of the AI related stock market in Asia. Now, the question really is why is this happening? And more importantly, will this spill over to the American stock market? So the Nikkei 225 index, which is the Japanese index, has crashed by 4%, and at a peak today, it crashed by more than 5%. The Taiwan index settled at minus 6.5%. And although the Korean index today is not open, but to date, the Kospi index have crashed by more than 25%. And we're looking at now the Nasdaq futures and S&P 500 has a downward shift as well. So let's really focus right now on the Asian stock market to see why this thing is happening. Then we can understand whether this will spill over to the American stock market. So the Japanese index and the Taiwan index and the Kospi index and the Chinese index are all having downward shift because most of them are related to the AI boom. Now, the AI boom right now is carried to a level where people start disbelieving in the possible dream. And right now it's spilling over to semiconductors, AI infrastructures, and memory chips, which all these countries are heavily manufacturing. So the Nikkei 225 index has fallen by 4%. At its peak today, it fell by more than 5%. And just to be very clear, the Nikkei index so far has fallen by almost 13%. And that's quite serious because the Japanese index seldom fall by this magnitude. And that's largely because it is highly related to the AI story. So the Taiwan index today fell by more than 6%. And that's despite TSMC beating all analyst expectation. And right now we are looking at about more than 10% fall for the whole Taiwan index as well. That's very unusual given that there are just good news and no bad news. The Kospi index today is closed. I think there's a Korean holiday, but it has already suffered a 25% downdraft from the peak. And so therefore, by definition, this is a confirmed bear market for the Korean market. Now, if we take a step back and analyze, actually all these three markets have gone up quite a lot, and largely because of the AI wonderful story as well. But like all things that go up, it must come down. So right now, they are all taking a deep breather. So what's common about these three markets is that they are all related to the giant AI supply chain story. So Korea has two big companies, Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. They are all producing memory chips, DRAM, to support the AI infrastructure boom. The Taiwanese, on the other hand, you have TSMC manufacturing a lot of chips and computer components and infrastructure components for NVIDIA. And it's all doing very well in terms of business. But right now, people are believing less of the story that it can go up forever. And Japan, of course, they've got Advantest, Tokyo Electron, Kyosia, SoftBank. All these are involved in chip testing, equipment, AI holding companies, and so on. So it's basically a sell-off because people is beginning to lose the belief in the AI optimism. Well, frankly speaking, the AI story is still very strong. Everybody, even the skeptic, believe that AI will be the thing of the future. We all are adopting AI in a big and massive way. It's just that people are overly having unrealistic expectation for AI to boom so high. So AI right now has been priced for perfection. It's like a dream, like a rainbow dream. Unfortunately, when you go to the end of rainbow, you don't find the pot of gold because the pot of gold is much further away. So they are priced for perfection, but right now they recognize that imperfection is happening. It's not that it's not growing, it's just not growing fast enough. They are not seeing the profits, they are not seeing the returns, and everybody is questioning right now whether this is realistic or not. So right now, people are beginning to doubt, and then when they doubt, they sell. When they sell, the stock market crash. So the first to be hit is the front of the value chain, which is the hardware suppliers of the AI boom, which is essentially Asia. So that's why Taiwan, Japan, Korea are all being hit. Why is Singapore not hit? Is because we don't manufacture a lot of AI components. We do. It's just not that much. But the three countries I mentioned, they are big producers of the AI supporting infrastructure and chips and equipment. But on the other hand, what about US? Well, US is mainly on the application side of things and the LLMs, the large language model, and they are, of course, will be subjected to the same scrutiny as well. But it's just that at this juncture, while those markets are down, the rest of the S&P 500 is going up. So what they have, what we call a sector rotation, and whatever come down is supported and offset by whatever is going up. So we don't see that fierce impact yet. Now, on the other hand, we have also a serious situation in Middle East. The war between Iran and US right now is escalating, and the fight is continuing. And right now, we are looking at oil prices coming up to $80, but will it go up higher? Will the situation get up worse? Well, it could be, and the market is worried. So the next potential fear is the closure of the Bab el Mandeb. So the Bab el Mandeb comes as a channel from the Suez Canal all the way to the Red Sea, and the Houthis rebels in Yemen under the influence and control of the Iranians. The Iranians are reported to threaten that they will tell the Houthi forces to close the Bab el Mandeb if the US expand their strike to civilian infrastructure, especially power and things like that. So the US is already striking bridges, and that's by right, not allowed under international laws, but I think the Americans don't care. And if they continue to strike this way and also strike power infrastructure, then there's a chance that the Iranians will execute their threat to close the Bab el Mandeb with the help of the Houthis. So if that were to happen, then there is a very high chance that oil prices will go to the roof again, and the whole thing will start all over again, which is very bad. So right now, oil and gas that's been stuck in the Persian Gulf, most of them already gone out. Okay, during the MOU period that was agreed between the Iranians and the US, although it didn't last for long, but it was enough for a lot of these ships to get out. And right now, if that strait is already being shut down, will continue to be shut down, plus the Suez Canal straits that go all the way to Bab el Mandeb is being shut down as well. Wow, that will be a serious threat to the entire oil flow. So if that were to happen, for sure oil prices will go up, and for sure inflation will go up, and for sure interest rate will go up, and for sure AI valuations will get hit even more. So stock market will crash big time if that were to happen. So the question really right now is, okay, the Asian market is crashing. What about the American market? So everybody is wondering whether that will happen. Well, we are all watching. Well, if the AI story were to get shaken, the question is really whether the rest of the non-AI companies will go up to cushion the effect, or the AI story were to get affected, and AI stocks like the Magnificent Seven were to go down, and will this impact the S&P 500, the Nasdaq in a very big way? We don't know. At this point in time, the futures market looks a little bit weak, but doesn't look that serious. So I'm hopeful that the impact may not be that great. But the truth is, I do think that at some point in time the impact will come. We are just waiting for a possible correction between now to the end of the year before the midterm elections. So let's watch on very clearly. Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss any of this thing. And this could be the chance of lifetime for you to grab some lay long stocks, some cheap stocks, if the crash were to come. Okay. So with this, thank you for watching, and let's see whether the American stock market will be able to resist this fall, or it will crash, and we'll know them by tonight. Okay. Or if not, next week. So keep watch, and I'll see you in my live stream tonight. Thank you, and bye bye.